Hello, I am O Speaks. If you're new here, like, subscribe, share. Today, actually, let me do the title first. The title of today's live stream is April Chapman goes on a conspiratorial tirade about Candace Owens' supposed conspiracies. um, I don't watch this young lady. Let me start it out by saying that. I'm going to do a reaction on a live that she did last night. My wife watches her a lot and is a fan, and she's subbed up and all that. And she was listening or watching her, and I was in and out of the room, and I was hearing some of the things she was saying, and I'm like, that's not true. My wife was like, man, I don't know what this is, because what her normal content seems to be, I believe, is Christian content, talking about pastors and church and faith and stuff like that. And then she does delve into politics as well. Uh, I don't, again, I don't watch, I don't know her. I may have seen one full video of hers, maybe, I don't know, two at the most. I didn't know she goes live, but again, I saw the live, or I didn't see the whole thing. I heard it, and I was watching, and I'm like, man, this is really weird, because this is not true. And I wanted to review or react to some of her live stream today, because I don't know her to be the soap opera type of content creator. She's a pretty big platform. She's got 100 and almost 150,000 subs. So it's just weird. It was a very strange live, and as I watched today to clip it up, because I don't want to just play her live stream. Um, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Uh, you don't have to like someone, but I think we have a duty as content creators, no matter how big or small, to be honest, or at least do research before we do a live on someone. Now, again, I'm being open with you guys. I don't watch her. I like, my wife really does like her content, so um, I'm not here to disparage her. I think some things need to be corrected, because I heard a lot of out of context narratives being driven, and it was odd to me, to be honest with you. So with that said, let me
What is motivating Candace
bring
Owens
it up.
to say the things that she is saying, to cast aspersions, and to imply in so many words that, you know, she won't say this outright, but she'll put enough doubt out into the ether to get people questioning, saying, well, I don't trust Erica Kirk. It's something in her eyes that just seems off.
You are a true.
So this is what I'm going to do through this live, because she's never said anything remotely close to this. I don't know why she would say that. That's a very odd, not even assumption. That's a very odd declaration to make, that Candace would say something like that. So I'm gonna play what she's actually said about the young lady, Erica Kirk. So what's going on here seems to be some kind of beef between Miss Chapman and Candace Owens. I don't know if Candace Owens knows that there's a beef between them. It sounds like they may have crossed paths. Again, I don't know what this is, but I do know when somebody says something that's not true, it should be corrected, or at least addressed. And like I said, we have a responsibility to our base, whoever's watching us on a daily basis, whether it's one person watching or a million people watching. I don't think that you should just put stuff out about people and it just be a flat out lie. So this is Candace Owens on what she really said about Erica Kirk.
Truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry, and yet she was able to, through tears, and obviously you could tell how difficult that moment was for her, but she arrived at forgiveness, and she did it in front of the entire world. And I think that every single person should watch that speech. Truly, they should watch that speech. They should watch Tucker Carlson's speech. And I don't think even showing you clips of it, I'm going to show you one, could do it justice. You should watch it in its entirety, the emotion, the message of it, and you can obviously see why Charlie fell in love with her. right? I remember meeting Erica. We were at, Charlie and I were in New York for something, one another, and he was falling for her hard, but he wanted to play cool. He wanted to play cool. So he's like, come meet her at Del Frisco's in New York City. And I came there and she was just lovely. She was genuinely such a nice person. I was like, Charlie, just go for it. Just go for it. And he did go for it. And last night, I really do think that the entire world needed to hear her message. What you took from it, how you could apply it to your life, is up to you. But specifically, the part that she shared that provided me with so much peace, and I needed to hear it, truly, was when she explained that Charlie did not suffer.
Perhaps turning point.
So compare what you just heard to how Ms. Chapman started this conversation. It's really, really strange. Again, how you doing, KMC? I don't understand this. I don't know what this is, but let's listen to her again, and then I'll fast forward back to the next part.
What is motivating Candace Owens to say the things that she is saying, to cast aspersions and to imply in so many words that, she won't say this outright, but she'll put enough doubt out into the ether to get people questioning, saying, well, I don't trust Erica Kirk. It's something in her eyes that just seems off.
You are truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry. And yet she was able to, through tears, and obviously you could tell how difficult that moment was for her, but she arrived at forgiveness, and she did it in front of the entire world. And I think that every single person should watch that speech. Truly, they should watch that speech. They should watch Tucker Carlson's speech. And I don't think even showing you clips of it, I'm going to show you one, could do it justice. You should watch it in its entirety, the emotion, the message of it. And you can obviously see why Charlie fell in love with her, right? I remember meeting Erica. We were at, Charlie and I were in New York for something, one another, and he was falling for her hard, but he wanted to play cool. He wanted to play cool. So he's like, come meet her at Del Frisco's in New York City. And I came there and she was just lovely. She was genuinely such a nice person. I was like, Charlie, just go for it. Just go for it. And he did go for it. And last night, I really do think that the entire world needed to hear her message. What you took from it, how you could apply it to your life, is up to you. But specifically, the part that she shared that provided me with so much peace, and I needed to hear it, truly, was when she explained that Charlie did not suffer.
Perhaps.
So that's complete opposite of what Ms. Chapman said, and I don't know where she's getting this from. One thing I did notice, especially after Charlie Kirk's assassination, is people putting out clips of him just taking things way out of context and making it look some kind of way. I have to assume that that's what she's seeing. Otherwise, I need to know where she got that idea from, that she looks at Erica Kirk this way, because that clip I just played was within the last week, 2 weeks. So let's listen to her continue.
Turning point may have something to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. We don't know who's to say. And then add on top of that her anti-Israel hatred, and just put it all together, and it's like a narcissistic. It's the musings of an individual who is not tethered to reality, and who is grieving almost the loss of a lover as opposed to a friend, but is grieving the loss of a lover that they kind of broke up like a really long time ago. But they want to lead everyone to believe that they were besties. And I find that so interesting, because I was at Charlie Kirk's memorial. I have friends within the Turning Point organization, and I know for a fact that they don't think very favorable of Mrs. Owens' father. Okay, that's just the truth. They don't.
All right, so I don't know where this venom is coming from. Again, something happened. Something had to have happened for her to be talking like this. What's going on, Mel Dub? And this is just, the approach to me is weird. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. So I'm just going to keep watching. So she just said she knows a lot of people in Turning Point and TPUSA. So I don't doubt her. But most of the people giving information to Candace Owens through this whole series that she's doing right now are from TPUSA. They're the ones who are doing some of the research for her. They're on the ground. They're like, if there are people who don't like her, that's fine. I'm sure there are, but there's also people who do. So I don't know why anyone would make a blanket statement like that, as if TPUSA just does not like this woman. But does it really matter if you have Charlie Kirk, who actually did? So this clip here is her watching a clip from last month. Charlie Kirk, or actually it was August. So the month before he was shot. This is him on Candace Owens.
Your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend. You know,
Since
look, I don't agree with everything Candace says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that, and you shouldn't either. Look, I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In fact, if you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
So, again, it's a very, very interesting thing to hear the man himself before he passed saying what he was saying. You know, everyone has disagreements versus what she's saying as if they had no relationship at all. And when I hear somebody saying things that are just outright false, I have to wonder why. Where is this coming from? To me, it's fascinating to watch, especially from someone who doesn't typically do content like this. Like I said, I don't watch it, but I was told by my wife, who's a sub, who is a fan, and she's like, she doesn't normally do stuff like this. So it's really, really, really interesting.
There were no images of her and Charlie during those early days in the infant stages of TPUSA anywhere at the memorial. There was no footage shared of Candace Owens from the early days. Not an image, not a video, not a soundbite. I just, thought that was strange. I also think it is strange that she continues to assert that Charlie was her best friend, as if Charlie Kirk didn't have like a whole wife who's publicly asserted that Charlie was her best friend. You see, I know what it's like to collaborate with an individual that becomes obsessed with you, and they may never come out and tell you that they feel about you more than just friendly professional camaraderie. They may not ever say it, but their actions and the way they opine about you publicly leads everyone to believe, like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you acting like this? You sound like a jilted lover, not a friend who's mourning the death of a friend. I've had run-ins with narcissists who, when they've lost you, or i.e. when you walk away from them, you disconnect, you disengage, you unsubscribe, you completely say, this no longer serves me, you are unhealthy. I'm gonna go over here. I wish you well, don't wish nothing bad on you, but I'm over here living my life and you do what you need to do over there. I know what it's like to see a person crash out when that happens. And in my opinion, I believe what we are witnessing is the utter crash out of someone who is still feeling some sort of kind of way because Charlie was her dream man. That was her dream.
There's so much here. So I want to let it cook. We just heard Charlie Kirk last month or the month before. So in August, saying the complete opposite of what she's saying. She seems to be, she's giving an anecdotal experience. She said, she's been through this. So maybe that's where some of this emotion's coming from. It's wild. What's going on, Phoenix? It's mind-blowing that someone would get on camera and do this and not understand or catch themselves like, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. Because while you're saying somebody else is crashing out, this is not a good look. Because now she's questioning. I don't know. I'm gonna let it play. It's just it's fascinating. She's insinuating that Candace was in love with Charlie and literally said she wishes that she were Charlie's husband, or Charlie was her husband. This is wild.
Oh, they built Turning Point together, and then he meets the beauty queen, right? And it wasn't supposed to happen that way. What was supposed to happen is that they were supposed to build Turning Point, and they were supposed to be the power couple. And it didn't turn out that way. Because from the moment Charlie Kirk met Erica to interview her for a job, he instantly knew, oh no, I don't want to give you a job. I'm trying to make you my wife. I'm trying to date you. That is a matter of public record. Because Candace is
Candace got married before Charlie Kirk. Like 2-3 years before Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was there when she met her husband. You heard him say it. It's just
making a whole lot of assertions, and she never provides any proof. She just casts enough doubt to make you want to run with the narrative, and the next thing you know, you're looking at Turning Point USA a certain kind of way. You're looking at his wife a certain kind of way. You're looking at Israel a certain kind of way. Mind you, the letter that Bibi, I know I'm a little all over the place, I'm skipping around, I'm coming back, but Bibi Netanyahu releases the letter, and we've yet to see Candace actually engage with the letter that she alleged was being misrepresented, and that all roads leads to Israel, and that somehow, some way, if you turn your head and squint your eye and clutch yourself real tight, that Israel has something to do with this. But anyway.
So she hasn't said that. So Bibi Netanyahu, Candace Owens definitely does not like him. I don't know why she's tying this to all of this, but the letter, she said, I want to see the letter. I don't believe you, to him. It's not like, this is not like a secret. She's saying it as if I don't understand why she's saying this, because Candace was pretty straightforward and said, I don't believe you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Released the whole letter, not just 2 sentences, because she doesn't believe him. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't like the way Netanyahu did his, I don't even know what that was. I don't see why you do a not even a speech, but you make a comment on somebody who passed that you say was your friend, and then you have the Israel and American flag behind you, and you talk about how much he loved Israel. It was a very strange thing to me also. But what's wrong with her asking to see the letter? And he showed the letter, and it was kind of in the middle of what she said and what he said. You can make a case either way. This is what it feels like. It feels like she needs to start a YouTube beef. It's weird. I don't know what this is, because again, my wife says she doesn't do this kind of content. This is messy. Saying that she wanted to be a power couple with Charlie Kirk when they were both at each other's weddings. Candace Owens showed text messages of her trying to help Charlie Kirk or convince him, or oh no, that she was trying to help Charlie Kirk convince Erica that Kirk was a better last name than hers. Like, she was encouraging this. It's again, wild is the only word I can come up with.
We're not gonna go there. So Charlie met Erica in 2018, and this was also the same year that Candace met George through a Turning Point UK connection, right?
Okay. See, it wasn't just a Turning Point UK connection. George Farmer was the chairman of TP UK, which obviously is the sister to TP USA. So Turning Point UK, Charlie Kirk put her at the time fiance in charge of TP UK. They went there to create it. They were speaking. That's where she met George Farmer. Charlie Kirk was there. He encouraged her to speak to him. The guy ends up proposing to her like within 2 weeks, and the rest is history. What does this have to do with Candace supposedly wanting to be with Charlie Kirk? Does that make any sense? I don't know how she's making these connections. And oddly, she just said that Candace Owens throws out narratives but never provides proof. She's literally doing that. This is strange. To me, this is strange. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe you guys don't see how odd this is. Maybe it's just me.
Charlie and Erica go on their first date September 2018. And later that year, George proposes to Candace very quickly and very abruptly. And then in February 2019, in May of 2019, Candace announces her resignation as communications director of Turning Point USA. August of the same year, Candace and George get married. December 2020, Charlie proposes to Erica. And then the timeline goes on. But Candace has not been intimately connected with TPUSA for a very, very long time. She doesn't take kindly. She don't play second fiddle to anybody. And it ain't.
All right. So Candace Owens went on tour with TPUSA and Charlie Kirk last year. Like, I know. She hasn't been, maybe the word intimately is why she's saying that. Like, I don't know what that means. Maybe I don't understand any of this. She was literally on the college tour with Charlie Kirk last year. It's not that long ago, leading into the election.
Enough room in the organization for her, Erica, and her ego, like Candace's ego. So there's distance. And then Charlie's untimely assassination. And then all of a sudden, we are hearing stories about Charlie being her bestie and that she knows all of these things about Charlie. And no one at TPUSA can affirm and corroborate this close kinsman affection that they've had in later years. My thing is, if you was his best friend, I don't see where you are the godmother of any of his children. I didn't see pictures of you guys doing date nights together as a couple. We didn't see any close connection or participation from Candace in the Kirk's life, professionally or personally.
She was in his wedding. Did you see him say how close they are? I just played it. All these accusations, I don't understand any of them. And this is, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe she'll clean it up.
So for me, as a wife, I have grave issue and concern with another woman inappropriately opining over another woman's husband, asserting that she is his best friend and she is the only arbiter of truth, and then attempting to cast doubt and aspersion on the character of said wife when said wife is grieving.
Didn't happen. It did not happen. I just played for you guys earlier her talking about how lovely his wife is. That was within the last 2 weeks, week or two. So it sounds like she was told something, or maybe she went through this in her marriage. I think she's married. Maybe she's married. I don't know. Maybe something happened where her ex or a boyfriend at some point or a husband got close with somebody and she didn't like it. So this is what we get. She didn't cast any dispersions onto Charlie Kirk's wife. I don't know what this is. I really don't. I would love, especially a content creator who's got almost 150,000 subs. Play it. Just play it. Why are you talking about all this? Play it. Would that be easier to play it? If you haven't hit like on the way in, please hit like.
How vile and disrespectful do you have to be to make the kind of content that would even remotely put the thought in people's minds that his wife had something to do with it?
I do also want to address people who are inundating me speaking about Erica Kirk. And I think the reason why this was catalyzed was because of a fundraising email and text messages went out and people found it to be distasteful and like a fundraising off of his death. Okay, first and foremost, the reason why I said, and I meant it genuinely, was to pray for Erica a couple of days ago. And I said she is stepping into a role as CEO and the chairman of a company that got bigger than Charlie, by everything that I'm understanding, and just having been there, I saw it happening, and a company that she's going to have to learn in 4 seconds how this whole thing's, it is a machine, okay? Those emails that you saw, that was not written by Erica Kirk. That will be an entire department, and these are emails when you fundraise. I've had fundraising emails go out with my face and my name on them. They are not authored by Erica Kirk, and I want you guys to know that, right? I just think it's like, I don't know, it just feels so unfair to me to assign the amount of pressure that is on her right now. She has not come out and said anything to me that makes her suspicious, because I understand how that organ works. And I understand how people, when they are motivated by money, how they don't even think about these things. It can be so gross. I mean, I have really gotten into arguments with people when I felt that they were using my face and representing things, and I was getting pushback from the public. And I'm like, I would have never done this. I would have never made that decision. And yet I'm going to be the person that gets all the flack for the decision that you made. I've had those arguments. And so when I see this go out, irrespective of how you feel, you should know that those decisions are not made by Erica. That's what it means to step into a company of that size and that scale. Okay.
Okay, so this is literally within the last week. So she's saying the exact opposite of what April Chapman is saying. She's saying she's dropping hints that somehow Erica was involved in this. It's like she's saying to pray for her. She's saying she feels bad because of the situation she's in, stepping into a role into a company so big. What is this? Maybe I don't know. I don't watch her content, but Mel Dub, my wife, really likes her, and she's like, this is nothing. I've never seen her like this. So there's something personal going on here. But to the accusations are insane. This is what she said. I don't know where April got that information out of this. Because I played one clip from a different live of her saying how lovely the wife was and that she was encouraging Charlie to go for it with her in marriage. And now this one, she's saying, pray for her. I don't envy her. So Mel said, honestly, it seems like April Chapman wants to be the black female voice of conservatism. Or she's upset that it didn't happen for her. I don't know. But this is not okay because she's outright lying. So let's listen to what the rest of what Candace has to say, because it's really disturbing. Really disturbing. Let's see. My only thing with Candace Owens is she is innuendoed that Charlie Kirk's murder was a conspiracy. I watched the video where she kind of went off kilter. Yes, but this is what she does. So she's already uncovered some things that we weren't told by the government. What's interesting is she's also debunking some things that other people are putting out. So there's a guy who put out a really good video about the angle that Charlie Kirk was really shot at, and I don't see how it can be debunked. But she did say that there was something wrong with his video and corrected it and said, if you have other information, hit me up, let me know. She's trying to find the truth, and there are some narratives that are just wrong about what happened with this guy. And I don't see anything wrong with doing that. If it is a conspiracy, okay. If it's not, okay. But I don't see anything wrong with asking questions when the narratives that we were given are not true. Now, it may be on accident that they weren't true, but there are definitely some things that have happened that aren't true. I haven't spoken on this because I'm waiting to see what's really going on. But he did not go to the school. He visited the school that day. I don't think he went out before that. I could be wrong on that. But he knew where to climb up on the building with his rifle. He knew where to set up. He knew where the tent would be. I mean, there's a small area where the tent would probably be. But he knew the angle that the tent would be rotated. He knew where the people were going to be standing so that he would have a shot. This seems like there's more to it, and I don't see anything wrong with asking questions. Because he also knew the escape route. He knew how far to park away from the campus. He knew the route to get back to his car. The story's weird. Been weird since the day it happened. We were told that he confessed to his father and a minister or law enforcement, whatever. Now his parents are saying he did not confess. Okay, why were we told that he confessed? His boyfriend, or whatever you want to, his partner, that family said that he was more likely to be the one to do something because he really hated Trump. There's some weird stuff going on. I'm not going to adjudicate it, but like I said, I'm waiting to see what's real. And she's uncovering a lot of things that aren't real. This is just like the Brigitte Macron thing. It starts off a wild story, but then as you watch, she's got millions of followers. She gets millions of views per episode. She's got so many people that are sending her information, and all she's doing is sifting through the information and giving an opinion on what she's finding. But a lot of things are indisputable. And no one can convince me that he knew where to climb up on the building, the route to get the shot that he needed on Charlie Kirk, where it was going to be set up. Like I said, the tent, all of that stuff is it's very unlikely. And if you're a shooter, man, I don't know if you own any firearms. It's very unlikely. It's all very, very unlikely that he was able to plan without actually being there and doing anything. Because I'm willing to bet even there are students that wouldn't know how to get on top of the building and where to get an angle on that little pavilion area where Charlie Kirk was going to be. Know the angle, get the shot off, and know an escape route to get back to your car through a neighborhood that you've never been to. Because he didn't go to the school. It's strange. He said, I think she could have waited until the body got cold. Let's see. I think she jumped the gun, but I do believe it was a far left organized. It has to be. So she's uncovering things that are just true. And she's also uncovering things that are clearly false. Clearly false. So I don't, the longer you wait, the harder it is to get information. And she's been mad. She's been really, really mad. Because she feels like nobody's looking into it. And according to her, there are a lot of people at TPUSA who are really mad. And yeah, so you have every right to believe that she should have been patient. My thing is, when the first information we got was wrong, somebody's got to say something, and everybody knows she's going to be the one to say it. But listen to her continue on about the wife that April Chapman says Candace is implicating, and it's just not true. It's just not.
Their focus is going to be something different. And she has had, I think, a tremendous amount of grace in the speech that she gave, which I thought was very inspiring. And we should similarly have grace, give her time to get her, first and foremost, the adjustment in her life. She's a mother, first and foremost, right? This is what she was doing. She was a mom, and Charlie was on the road, and these were Charlie's concerns. You know, men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they were following that. This was a faithful couple. This is a woman who consulted a priest and prayed when she felt that somebody had put a hex on her husband. And I just think everyone is being a little unfair by trying to assign so much ill will towards someone who hasn't done anything to warrant that. And I would have been the first person. If I felt that anything was there, I would have said something truly in every capacity. And of course, I'm not in their marriage, but I know that Charlie was very happy with Erica. And I know that Erica was a reason. She was pushing Charlie, as women do, to really think through his ideas and think through what it was that he believed in one way or the other. And by and large, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I had this relationship that I had with Charlie, that I had with Erica, of course, because neither he or I were married when we were hitting the road together, but she made him happy. And I just want you guys to know that. And so when you're putting stuff out there, just imagine that you're in her shoes. Imagine the size and the scale of that company. And imagine that on top of everything, you've got people that are digging into every layer of your life. It never.
So she's literally saying the opposite again of what Chapman said. She's saying, please give her grace to all the people who are criticizing her for how she's handling things. And for apparently there was some kind of advertisement that went out or whatever, or donor request that went out. She's saying, don't blame the wife. April Chapman is saying she's blaming the wife. It's the exact it couldn't be further from the truth. And she even explained how that could happen so that people don't see that. She even said there have been no indicators that she's got anything but love for her ex, or for her, I don't know, what do you call it? Widow? She's the widow. For her husband. She's saying the opposite, but April is still trying to push this narrative. It's strange to me.
Stops. And to be thrown into fame, I think, is very difficult when you're not pursuing it yourself, and to be thrown in such a horrific way, it just can't be fun. So I'm just reminding us all to just have a little bit of grace is all.
I'm of the opinion that you wish you were Mrs. Kirk, but because the chips didn't fall and land that way, you had to settle for your Timu knockoff version, the UK version of a Charlie Kirk. He was close enough. And I'm also concerned that your husband has not reeled in your mouth and caused you to zip it, not because you should not be allowed to voice your opinion or concern surrounding what may or may not have happened, but out of respect for his family. It is rude. It is disrespectful. It's very mean girl narcissistic.
This is crazy.
It is obvious no one can control this woman. Her own husband can't even keep her in check. I just finished watching an old video of Candace and Charlie when she was still with PragerU, and they were she was interviewing him, and there's a sparkle in her eye. I'm not, I get it. The dream team is we thick as thieves. But to sit and say the things that she is saying without respecting and giving deference to Charlie's wife, and then a lot of the things that Candace is saying can be easily disproven if you just take the time to think. Like, if you remove yourself from the conspiracy theory rabbit trail that she takes you on, you will not land where she's landing. You're just not. And it bothers me. And I have personally talked to individuals at TPUSA, and I'm like, y'all need to get this hef off the website. It's time. She got to go. She got to go. I'm sorry. I've never publicly explained why I disconnected from a leadership perspective from Blexit, but those who are close to me know. You know who you are. If you are watching and you were there in those early days, you know exactly why. I said I can no longer serve as assistant state director of this organization precisely because of Candace's mouth. I felt like someone needed to censure her and reel her in.
So she is saying exactly the opposite of what Charlie Kirk said. He said we should not do what she's saying right now. Because we disagree, we should not do exactly what she's saying. She should have been censured, reeled in. Everything she's saying is, I played it. I just played it. Charlie Kirk said this is what we should not do. This is what the left does. We do not do this. And here she is. Maybe that's why she can't coexist. I'm pretty sure she was on the left before. I thought I saw something about her moving over to the right during Blexit. So she probably was, because she's part of Blexit. That's obviously the black exit from the Democrat Party. So this hostility, she's accused her husband. Now she's accused Candace Owens' husband of being weak. She's accused his wife of wanting to be with somebody else over him, even though she married him first. But she knew Charlie first. This is nasty. And for her to be a Christian content creator, I can't imagine how many people were looking like, oh my goodness, what is she doing right now? This is nasty.
And provide her some sort of wisdom and guidance to say that everything that's on your mind, you don't always have to say. Sometimes there's a time and place for everything. And Turning Point right now is being very gracious. They're being incredibly gracious by not responding to a narcissist, because when you respond to a narcissist, that gives them attention, which is what they want. They live for the engagement. They live for the chaos. And so on one aspect, I applaud them for not answering a fool according to her folly. But then in the next breath, I'm like, sometimes you have to answer a fool according to her folly.
I think what she's talking about here is Candace Owens challenged anyone at TPUSA or the higher ups at TPUSA to say she's lying. That's a trap, and they'd be smart to not say that. Because she said, I want you to make a statement calling me a liar, which means she's got something. People may not like that, but if they wanna call that bluff, do it. If she were in power, she would do it. But I'll say a lot of the information that I've heard her talk about, and I've seen every episode of this whole Charlie Kirk thing that Candace Owens is doing. A lot of the information is coming from people within TPUSA. So I don't know what she's talking about. I'm sure there are people who don't like her. At every job you have, there's people who like you, there's people who won't. That's not speaking for the whole organization, like she seems to be doing. And she wants TPUSA to do something that Charlie Kirk clearly, very specifically said he would never do.
I have no doubt that one day Erica Kirk is going to come out and say what needs to be said. But the question that I want to ask you guys, the audience, is, it's not a coincidence that there were no images of Candace Owens anywhere during Charlie's memorial. None of the content that they've shared as of late to try to remember the good times of Charlie, they don't share her stuff.
But Charlie Kirk in August spoke very highly of Candace Owens as a person, as a mother, as a friend. So why does that matter? Why does this matter? What she's saying is just nasty for the sake of being nasty. And I can't I can't keep saying I don't understand because this is weird. The other thing she said that was, I'll wait, but she's going to get back to that.
Reason for that. I believe, once again, this is my opinion, I believe that Candace Owens wishes she was Mrs. Charlie Kirk. She is supposed to be the CEO of that organization. How dare this beauty queen who simply applied for a job one day walk away with the kingpin?
I do have concerns, and maybe concerns is not the right word. I have rather hopes that Erica, who is taking on this huge step of being the chairman and the CEO, that she has someone in her corner that she really trusts. And what I mean is that I am not equipped to be the CEO of my little tiny company. Okay. And I've realized that how much it involves to understand accounting, to understand how people can create LLCs, a spin-off of LLCs, how money can be hidden and pushed into different directions and into vehicles that you don't understand, takes a person that is sort of trained to have that business mind. I am grateful that my husband has that business mind. I just don't actually even care to have that business mind more than anything else. I couldn't learn it, but I know with a company at that size, Erica is going to really need to have someone who is very much in her corner. It breaks my heart that she doesn't have Charlie. Charlie would be exactly the kind of person. Like it's the beauty of a partnership, and they had a beautiful partnership. But I really do worry, and I just wanted to express that openly to you guys. I'm concerned about that for some reason, and I guess the best thing to do is just ask everybody to pray for Erica. Pray that she has the clarity to understand and have people around her who are being honest with her. Because I would not want to be in her position right now. I would not want to be in her position because where there is money, money naturally breeds snakes in the garden, and it's very difficult to keep the grass cut low when the yard is that expansive, so to speak.
And once again, it's the exact opposite of what April Chapman said. She says she wants to be the CEO. She just said she doesn't envy her and would not want to be in that position because she doesn't have the mindset for that. Her husband does, but she doesn't. It's the opposite. So how many things can this lady get wrong in one live stream? What's going on, Uncle L? Because it appears as if she's just winging it. That's what it sounds like. She's just winging it and saying whatever she thinks, whatever comes to mind, no truth. And the odd thing is she accused Candace Owens of doing this. You go down these rabbit holes and you follow her narratives. You wouldn't come to these conclusions if it wasn't for her. She's literally doing that. Exact opposite.
She didn't put in the time and the blood and the sweat and the tears. She went on the Chitlin circuit with them during those early days, sleeping in all kinds of motels here, there, and everywhere, raising funds. Think about it. If you were there from the beginning, sorry, I don't mean to shake this, in the early days, and then here comes this beauty queen, pretty blonde. Y'all, Erica fine, I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all seen her when she was Miss Arizona, but Erica, I'm a female, and I don't look at women in that way. I'm just saying, she's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful inside and out. Her and Charlie shared the same worldview. He didn't have to, do a whole lot of detoxing her from any liberalism or anything like that. She came prepackaged and preloaded with the proper defaults just for him. Candace, on the other hand, was still evolving in her worldview. And while we don't want to take away from what she helped Charlie build, you do have to ask yourself, why would she publicly make the kind of content she's making and say the things that she is saying, sounding like a jilted lover as opposed to a dear and genuine friend who cares about his wife, cares about his children, and actually cares about TPUSA? Why would she make
what you notice one thing she has not done is give any specifics to her claims. It's very general. She's making the content that she's making. And then when she does make a claim, I've literally played the opposite. Just say you don't like her and move on. Why do you have to do a whole live lying on somebody like this? This is nasty. Even the tone is very catty. Very, very, very catty. And it's like, lady, what are you doing right now? Especially if this is not the type of content you make. If she were somebody who does this, she's in the beef sector, cool, do what you gotta do. I get it. But if you're making Christian content and black so-called conservative content, what is this?
This content? Why would she say the things that she is saying without, notice, she does not provide evidence. She simply introduces a narrative, asks questions, and then you're forced to come to the conclusion that she wants you to come to.
That's literally what this whole live has been so far. literally projection. Literally.
That's all that this is. And before her people come in this chat, talking about, have you watched all the videos? I'm not about to sit and watch 1,511 hours of this chick on the internet talking crazy. I have things to do. I have my.
So now she admits complete ignorance. So what are we doing here? Lady, all these claims you've been making, and now you just now said, I ain't watching her stuff. This is unbelievable. So all these claims are what? You were told? I heard. She just said she does not watch Candace Owens. So hold on. I ain't watching her videos. It's too many videos. I'm busy. Then why do a live on her?
Narrative, ask questions, and then you're forced to come to the conclusion that she wants you to come to. That's all that this is. And before her people come in this chat, talking about, have you watched all the videos? I'm not about to sit and watch 1,511 hours of this chick on the internet talking crazy. I have things.
So you would just rather talk about her, talk crazy about her. I've never heard her say anything about this lady. She did not talk bad about Charlie's wife. She did not talk bad about him. She really didn't say anything bad about TPUSA. She just called them out and said, okay, if I'm lying, show it, prove it. But the people who showed her the contents on those SD cards that were pulled out of the camera, they're TPUSA. The people who explained why they were doing what they were doing, why they were cleaning up so fast, why they took the cameras down so fast, they were TPUSA. Those are all conspiracy questions that were happening online. She's either proving them wrong or confirming them. Like, this is nasty. Nasty, nasty.
To do. I have my own content to make. I'm telling you what I know as a wife.
What I know as a
no
wife.
way I would allow my if there's no way. No. As a wife, I'd be sitting looking at you like you're crazy.
So again, she's projecting here. Something happened in a past relationship. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure. But how she's behaving is not normal. This is not normal behavior for anybody. She's mad for somebody else's wife who has not expressed anger. Why? I know as a wife, you being a wife has absolutely nothing to do with this live, period. Unless you're mixing in your past experiences or current experiences into this story. This is crazy.
Why don't you just come out and say you wish that you were Mrs. Kirk and you're mad that you weren't? So now you're out here crashing out, claiming and making assertions that are baseless and unfounded, as if
literally what she's doing.
Turning Point was really about to bring you back. That was not happening. Don't nobody over there rock with her like that. They don't. It's untrue. I'll say that.
Again, a lot of the information that she's getting, especially the stuff on the inside, is from Turning Point. Don't nobody rock with you like that? Clearly, enough do that she's gotten information on meetings, board meetings. She's gotten, like I said, not only did she get reasons as to why those cameras were taken down and why the SD cards were taken off, but she got to look at the contents of the SD cards. Don't nobody rock with her.
Okay. But I will say that I think at one point, after that video I saw today of the chemistry that Candace and Charlie had, she felt some sort of kind of way when he met Erica. And it's not a coincidence that in 2018, when he met Erica, shortly after that, Candace gets ghosted and gone from Turning Point USA.
Okay. There was some comments made. I'll play it. The comments that you're about to hear about are really the reason why she ended up leaving TPUSA. But
of all the people the Republicans could have selected, they picked Candace Owens. I don't know Miss Owens. I'm not going to characterize her. I'm going to let her own words do the talking. So I'm going to play for you the first 30 seconds of a statement she made about Adolf Hitler.
I
I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a national socialist. But if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. Problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German.
All right, so my first question is to Ms. Hershinoff. Ms. Owens said, quote, if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. So when people try to legitimize Adolf Hitler, does that feed into white nationalist ideology?
So he's asking a white lady if Candace Owens is a white supremacist because of what she said, even though it was completely out of context. This is about to be great.
It does, Mr. Liu. I know that Ms. Owens
okay.
distanced herself from those comments later, but we
There it
expressed
is.
great concern over the original comments.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, I'm sorry. We just started recording. Would you like time to respond to that?
Yes, I think it's pretty apparent that Mr. Liu believes that black people are stupid and will not pursue the full clip in its entirety. He purposely presented an extracted clip.
The witness will suspend for a moment. It is not proper to refer disparagingly or to a member of the committee. The witness will not do that again. Witness may continue.
Sure, even though I was called despicable.
Witness may not refer to a member of the committee as stupid.
I didn't refer to him as stupid. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. You didn't listen to what I said. May I continue?
Please.
As I said, he is assuming that black people will not go pursue the full 2-hour clip. And he purposefully he cut off, and you didn't hear the question that was asked of me. He's trying to present as if I was launching a defense of Hitler in Germany, when in fact, the question that was asked of me was pertaining to whether or not I believed that whether or not I believed in nationalism, and that nationalism was bad. And what I responded to was that I do not believe that we should be characterizing Hitler as a nationalist. He was a homicidal, psychopathic maniac that killed his own people. A nationalist would not kill their own people. That is exactly what I was referring to in the clip, and he purposely wanted to give you a cut up similar to what they do to Donald Trump to create a different narrative. That was unbelievably dishonest, and he did not allow me to respond to it, which is worrisome and should tell you a lot about where people are today in terms of trying to drum up narratives. By the way, I would like to also add that I work for Prager University, which is run by an Orthodox Jew. Not a single Democrat showed up to the embassy opening in Jerusalem. I sat on a plane for 18 hours to make sure that I was there. I'm deeply offended by the insinuation of revealing that clip without the question that was asked of me.
Thanks, Mrs. Owens, and I yield the remainder of my time.
Look at his face. Stupid. Yeah, this is exactly what my wife said. She was shocked and said the same thing. It's wild. It really is wild to watch. But that's when she ended up leaving TPUSA. But she was still with Prager also. So it's not like April Chapman said that she just up and left because Charlie was with Erica.
She tried to get married and just move on and figure I'm gonna build a life with the knockoff Charlie Kirk over here and do the best that I can. But I believe that
Nasty.
she felt, and she's acting like a jilted lover who could not have what she wanted. And she feels and believes that turning point should be in her hands and not in Erica's hands. Like, why else would you say things like, I'm Charlie's best friend, when you've heard?
She literally just disrespected a Mel. Knockoff of Charlie Kirk. This guy is he may still be a businessman. He's in tech, he's in business, he's a theologian. He ran Parler. He ran TPUK for Charlie Kirk, but he's a knockoff. Just complete and utter disrespect. This lady is nasty, and I don't know why. I don't understand this at all. So disrespectful. While saying somebody else is being disrespectful. She's literally making up narratives. That's why when I call this live, I was like, she's on a conspiratorial rampage talking about Candace Owens' supposed conspiracies. I believe, and she has this whole soap opera in her head, and she's giving it to her audience. And if you don't watch Candace Owens, you're going to think, man, she must really be nasty, like trying to get another man's wife, like, or a husband, like, or another woman's husband, like this chick.
His wife say,
Whew.
no, I am Charlie's best friend. Charlie told me everything. There's no aspect of this organization and how it works that I, his wife, is not privy to. And you just got to deal with the fact that I'm the queen bee and not you. I think she...
You see what she just literally made all that up. Erica said no. Like, What are you doing? She just made up a story and said it to her audience as if it were true. Yeah. Oh, I knew about it. I definitely knew about it, and I'll talk about that towards the end. But this lady is, for some reason, I don't know what Candace did to her, but woo, it was bad. It was really bad. Maybe her husband or boyfriend said he thought Candace was cute. Something happened.
Struggling with that. And it is obvious, in my opinion.
Obvious.
Did you guys see the movie The Family That Prays? It's a Tyler Perry special. I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but when I tell you, that was one of his good videos. There's a woman who is married to, just a regular blue collar guy. And she starts working for this company and ends up having an affair with the son of the CEO of the company. And in her fantasy mind, she just knew. She just knew she was going to be Mrs. Cartwright, right? She ended up having this man's baby, and they're having this illustrious affair. And then the wife finds out, and then the wife shows up at an event that they're having. No, that's not what happens. They have this standing appointment at the Mayhew Hotel. And the wife shows up and circumvents the rendezvous that was about to happen and flat out tells, what was her name? What was the character, Sanaa Lathan's character name? Was it Erica? I don't know. But she confronts her and she's like, this is why he always got you hiding out in this hotel. You will never be Mrs. Cartwright. Leave my husband alone, stay away from my family. And the husband, Mr. Cartwright, basically after he gets fired, he tells her, listen, it's over, okay? Turn in your car keys. And she's like, William, no. The analogy is not an apples to apples analogy, but I believe that at some point, Erica's going to have to come out and tell Candace Owens that you would never be Mrs. Cartwright. You could never be Mrs. Cartwright. You will never be Mrs. Cartwright. Charlie would never show up nowhere with the likes of you, okay? Dating back to the Project Ponytail days, even now with the ultra perm and it's swinging and she done glammed up. You'll never be Mrs. Cartwright. And I think she's crashing out over that. And that's what it sounds like.
For her to even be able to say, I think she's crashing out while she's crashing out, the irony in her entire live stream. And I clipped it out. I've only clipped out about half of the live stream because it's too long. I wasn't about to go over her whole live stream, but this is insanity. This is what unhinged looked like while saying somebody else is crashing out.
Like she's mad at what was, what could have been, and what it ain't gonna be.
Mad.
And she needs to get some help. Because at this point, I'm like, you have minor children to raise and a whole husband. How is your husband comfortable with you talking about how Charlie is your best friend? Huh?
If they were best friends before the partner met the other partner, then what's wrong with her saying that? Like, somebody did something to her. Somebody really did do something to her. Look at her face. Look at how mad and frustrated and angry she is. She has nothing to do with this relationship. She may as well be frothing at the mouth. This is rabid.
I mean, you may think that, but to say that publicly and George just sitting back just letting you say it, I'm like, bruh, get your wife. Get your wife. She's out of pocket. But she's probably your wife because she's running things. That's all I'm gonna say. She's running things and she's running circles around you. Candace.
More disrespect to her husband, but she's out of pocket. This lady is speaking on 2 marriages that she knows nothing about. But Candace is the wife in one of the marriages is out of pocket.
May have professed to be a Christian Protestant persuasion at one point. I believe that she gave a head nod to biblical Christian values, kind of, sort of, but not really. She was more of a churchian, not even probably more of a Christian in name only. You don't go, you can go from that to Catholicism, right? But you don't go from being born of the Spirit with a new heart, raised to newness of life, to where you believe the gospel as declared in 1 Corinthians by the Apostle Paul. You don't go from that to Rome.
So now she's questioning her faith because she converted to Catholicism, which her husband is a Catholic. So this is not, so now we're talking about Lutheranism versus Catholicism. She's talking about being a Protestant. And apparently you can't convert to be a Catholic if you were once a Protestant. I don't know where this even came from. This is way left field. Way left field. So she's now insulted every single aspect of Candace Owens' life, including her faith. But this is this woman here, her content, I was told, is Christian based and conservatism. She talks about pastors and other people. She probably should stay home and stay off of live if she's going to do this. This is nasty. What's up, Tizzle? This is nasty.
You don't. The only way that happens is if you were already dead in your sin and trespasses and you just added a works righteousness, a works-based religion to the nominal visual or public expression of the Christian faith. You just added Rome to that. And now you're something else. So because of that, it confuses me when I see believers actually listening to the foolishness coming out of this woman's mouth. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not.
All right. Let's explore what she's saying right now. Because this is this is insanity. Let's look up Martin Luther, because let's look. Let's see what he did. You guys know who Martin Luther was? Not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther. This woman. All right, let's look up the 16th century. Sorry, what is Lutheranism? Because that's what she's talking about. This woman is an emotional mess. She is out of control, and I don't know what this is. It's just, it's, man. Here we go. Let's go to my Google search. Let's go to the AI portion. Let's make it big so people can see what she's talking about, or what she seems to be talking about. Lutheranism is a major branch of Protestant Christianity that originated from the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century. It sounds like she thinks Catholicism is the one that came later. That's what it sounds like. So she's saying you can't become a Catholic if you're a Protestant. I don't even know if she even knows what she's saying, because literally all Protestants came from Catholicism. What is she doing? What is she talking about? She's the woman of faith. She's the one with the Christian channel or content. Does she know this? I'm going off of what she's saying. She's saying you can't go from being a Protestant to a Catholic. What all Protestants came from Catholicism. Martin Luther is the one who came up with the idea. He had a biblical justification. You can have that debate all day. I have nothing to do with that. Go ahead. But what she's saying is you can't go from the latter part of the faith or denomination to the original. Why not? Who are you? And then she insults her listeners.
That she can't be right on something.
Oh, let's listen to her.
You don't go from that to Rome. You don't.
Rome was first.
The only way that happens is if you were already dead in your sin and trespasses and you just added a works righteousness, a works-based religion to the nominal visual or public expression of the Christian faith. You just added Rome to that. And now you're...
This is brutal. This is brutal. Because it sounds like she thinks she's preaching the word right now. This is brutal. I don't care what side of this you fall on. I don't care if you're Protestant. I don't care if you're full on Catholic. I really don't. But what she's saying is insane. And why is she making the argument right now? What's the point of this? What does this have to do with Charlie Kirk and Catholicism and Candace Owens and Erica Kirk and George Farmer? Like, lady, you are all, she's a mess. Yeah, definitely. She seems too emotionally involved with the situation. I'm curious. She's the one who sounds like she may have had a thing for Charlie. And she's jealous. She sounds jealous for Erica when Erica doesn't sound jealous. I'm just saying. Now I can say, I believe. You see how nasty that is?
Something else. So because of that, it confuses me when I see believers actually listening to the foolishness coming out of this woman's mouth. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that she can't be right on some things. Yes, that is possible. But I am not going to listen to her, a woman who is clearly, obviously lacking in biblical wisdom and discernment. I'm not going to listen to her and listen to what she's saying. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I'm like, yeah.
So Catholics are not worthy of listening or being listened to because this lady apparently has a disdain for Catholicism. And I don't care if you have that, but what does that have to do with anything? So she's attributing, I guess, all the behaviors that she thinks Candace Owens is displaying to Catholicism because she converted from a non-denomination or whatever denomination what is this lady talking about? She just insulted every Catholic. Even worse. Let me go back just a little bit so you guys can hear this because this is really funny.
A woman who is clearly, obviously lacking in biblical wisdom and discernment. I'm not going to listen to her and listen to what she's saying.
Okay, her husband, George Farmer, literally graduated from Oxford with a degree in theology. So maybe he's teaching her something. But for her to say she doesn't have discernment because she's become a Catholic is maybe she doesn't have a theologian husband. But because you say that Catholicism is wrong, what, all the audience are not supposed to listen to her? Because she believes her husband, or she actually was convinced, hey, maybe this is the way. Who are you, lady? Who are you?
Righteousness, a works-based religion, to the nominal visual or public expression of the Christian faith. You just added Rome to that, and now you're something else. So because of that, it confuses me when I see believers actually listening to the foolishness coming out of this woman's mouth. Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that she can't be right on some things. Yes, that is possible. But I am not going to listen to her, a woman who is clearly, obviously lacking in biblical wisdom and discernment. I'm not going to listen to her and listen to what she's saying. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I'm like, yeah, we need to search out the scriptures and fact check this and ask some deeper questions because she's not proving any of her allegations. She's just talking out the side of her neck, hoping that you're going to.
You hear this? Does that apply to all Catholics or just this one? This is insanity. This is insanity, he said. George Farmer used to date April Chapman. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm almost convinced they probably had an online relationship like before Candace. She's attacking Candace Owens in every way. She's attacking her husband, calling him weak and not able to control her. She's attacking both of their faiths. Actually, she's attacking millions of people's faiths. I wonder how many Catholics are there in the world. Actual Catholics. Like, I can watch debates. It says there's about 1.4 billion Catholics as of 2022 in the world. Apparently, none of them are worthy of being listened to. You got to take it up. at the surface. Whatever they're saying, you can't believe them. Can't trust them. This is insane. This lady, I don't know what's. Yeah, there's something real personal going on here with either Candace Owens or George Farmer or Charlie Kirk. I don't know.
Believe it, and some people are being deceived and they are believing it. But let's just go with the narrative that everything she is saying is true.
Okay.
You gave no regard to his children or his wife. Like, that is his one flesh partner. Or if you really felt that way and the truth was the truth, you would lay out all of the receipts and it wouldn't be this speculation. You would say, here is my investigative journalism and here's the undeniable facts of what I'm saying. But we've yet to get that.
We have yet to get a single fact out of this woman through this whole live. I've been live for an hour and 15 minutes. She has done nothing but speculate and say what she believes and come up with fantasies. Not one fact. But if you watch Candace Owens, she does throw out questions, and she's got an army of people who just send her information. She's literally presenting nothing but facts, and she's debunking things that aren't true. So if she asks a question and it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine. That doesn't make it whatever she said. It doesn't make it a lie. It means she's just asking a question. This is insanity. I'm not calling her insane. I'm saying this, whatever this was last night, whatever she was on or drinking or I don't know. This is not normal behavior.
Instead, we get videos of a woman who sounds like a jilted lover who's having a temper tantrum because she didn't get what she wanted, and now she's mad that she got to settle with Timu, Charlie Kirk, as a spouse. That's what it seems like.
Another jab.
I like Lexic because of how Candace handled Kim Klacik. I did. And I never publicly talked about it. I just wrote my letter of resignation and I just was like, I'm moving on. You can say what you want and have whatever feelings you have about Kim in that situation. I just, if you guys remember that situation, the way it was handled, I was just like, this is so messy. This is very mean girl messy. And it was unnecessary.
If you want to watch that, the link is in the description. It's a very interesting live. Like I said, there's about another hour of that. And she went on, she was talking about Israel and Palestine, and I wasn't about to get into that because she said some crazy stuff. Crazy. Now, Kim Klacik, she became popular. I remember exactly when she came out because she did a video walking through Baltimore, and it was a political ad. It was a really good political ad, and I really liked it. I remember I shared it on my social media. She got into it with Candace Owens. It got really ugly. And I mean, Candace was calling her a stripper and saying that her ex-husband or her husband, whoever he is, owned a strip club and all kind of crazy stuff, right? It got ugly enough that Kim Klacik sued Candace Owens. I don't know if any of that was true. What I do know is not only did Candace Owens win that lawsuit, Kim Klacik had to pay her over $100,000. And I'm not laughing that she lost. I'm saying if she was lying and the defamation were true, why did Kim Klacik have to be the one to pay when she's the one who sued? And then she just dropped the suit. She dropped the lawsuit with prejudice, which is very interesting because usually when you hear somebody get their sentence and they say, you know, the case was dropped without prejudice, it means they can come back and sue or come back after the person. She dropped the case with prejudice, meaning she's not going to sue again. She can't sue again. She's not even going to try. But like, what are we doing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she could be messy. I'm pretty sure I would never want to be on the other side of that. But Kim Klacik, literally a couple months ago, everyone probably saw this, or maybe not. You guys' timelines might not be like mine. But she literally offered to Elon Musk to have his first mixed black baby because she said she's fertile and she's broke, but she's still married. So I is that the person that you're going after Candace Owens over right now? She never bothered to divorce her husband. They got a kid, and now she's trying to sleep with Elon Musk. Publicly put this out there. And this is apparently the lady that April Chapman is really upset about. I don't like how Candace Owens handled that. Do you like Kimberly Klacik trying to have a baby while she's married with a kid with another man? Miss Christian? Is that okay though? You made up a whole scenario about Candace Owens, but you're going to ignore what Kim Klacik did and what she said? So here's what Mel was talking about earlier about black so-called conservatives. There was and I know I could tell you, I know this is the root of what happened between Candace Owens and Kim Klacik. There was a large group in 2020 in about 2015 of black so-called conservatives that just came out of nowhere. You know, I've been in this whole right-wing experience, right-wing movement or whatever this is for over 20 years. I've never seen all these people just started coming in, and some of them are cool, some of them are not. Hodge twins, they were like weightlifters turned comedians. Terrence K. Williams, he's another one, a comedian. I think these people were just trying to get their businesses or whatever else they wanted to do onto social media and get a big platform, so they started calling themselves MAGA. Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter, you know, he does really good work in the black communities with teaching people about the Second Amendment, tourniquets, and all that, training people on how to use sidearms, stuff like that. And he does really good work with that, but he's not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually kind of militant. He's on some other stuff, but it's not about him. There's a lot of these people, even I don't want to put her out there. I'm not even going to say her name, but there's a lot of these black conservatives who came out of nowhere, and I was one of them. Even with Candace Owens, you know, I loved what they were saying, but I'm looking at them like, who is this person? And I just watched. Before long, you realize, okay, this person is legit, because Candace Owens did the exact same thing. They all came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there's a thing called Brexit. There's all these people who are, you know, asking for reparations and all kind of stuff, and pro-abortion. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they were being labeled as conservative, and it's like, I don't know about that. And it's still happening, which is fine, you know, whatever. I don't have an issue with it, but I understand why she didn't trust Kim Klacik, and she said, "I don't trust Kim Klacik," and that's what kind of started their beef back and forth on, at the time, Twitter. They started going back and forth because she said, "I don't trust her. Who is she? Where did she come out of nowhere? How does she have 8 million in donations before she did this commercial?" So that was a legitimate question, but because it's Candace Owens, it was really magnified, and everyone, you know, started picking sides, and we see who won. One is now getting millions and millions of views every single live stream or video that they make, and the other one is begging Elon Musk to have his first black mixed baby. You know, this is what happens. And I just, that whole group, there was a lot of infighting, there was a lot of separation. And Mel, I know he remembers this because he was just mentioning it earlier about the Chitlin circuit. They were just a bunch of people, in my opinion, most of them just wanted a social media presence, and most of them got it. And that's where I believe Candace was coming from, and it just got really ugly really fast. Mel said, in all seriousness, we have to be careful about some of these so-called, oh yeah, absolutely. Some of you be surprised that I don't trust. Yeah. And even if they're Republicans, I still don't trust. I don't like Republicans. So I really do enjoy Brandon Tatum's commentary for the most part, but he's a full-on Republican. He's going to agree with anything that Republicans say. I don't like that. That's not, it ends up at some point turning into whataboutism, and I just don't like that. I don't like Republicans. They showed me who they were after January 6th. And now that we found out January 6th was a complete and utter hoax orchestrated by the FBI, now all of a sudden they're coming forward with this brave commentary on how fake January 6th was. We need to start pardoning more people. Okay, when they all ran on January 7th and 8th, I saw who I did not like, and almost every Republican turned, almost every one of them. So I will never call myself a Republican. But when they try to replace Trump with DeSantis, who I don't mind, that's when I got rid of the whole conservative label, because you had conservatives trying to tell me that Ron DeSantis was better at MAGA than the guy who made MAGA. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how that works. They were trying to replace my candidate, who I will still tell you to this day won in 2020. And in my opinion, it's pretty obvious because he had a blowout in 2016 and then a blowout in 2024. So what happened in between? I can tell you what happened in between. All the Republicans ran, and then they tried to give me somebody else, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Mel said, not a Brandon Tatum guy because he runs on being black. Yeah. I've been saying we should focus on race. We shouldn't focus on race. I mean, it is he is coming from a position of authority. He is. He does come from a position of authority because, I mean, by default, we have that position when we're speaking on that topic of race. But can only identify problems without doing the work in the black community. Yeah, I somewhat agree with that. I don't have an issue with that. I don't like how staunch Republican he is. I just don't like that. There's something to that really bothers Sean Hannity. There's something to that bothers me. I can agree with almost everything they say. I just don't like that they can't say anything else, and it bothers me. But Candace was one of the ones who early on was saying, I don't trust this person, I don't trust this person, I don't trust this person. And to this day, they all still have their own little beefs. And that whole Chapman circuit was nasty. A lot of people fighting. And most of them shouldn't have even been on this side. But I guess because they were useful and helped to get Trump elected, people dealt with it. I don't like dealing with people. I just don't. There's a lot of them who are gone too. Most of them are gone. Very few, like day one in that movement, are still around. But that's all I got for today. That was just a very disturbing life. I don't know why she was so hostile. I don't know why she was so emotional. In my opinion, there was a lot of projection going on. That's all I got. IMO Speaks. If you're new here, like, subscribe, share. Reach out to her. Ask her what was she thinking? Because that was not a good look. Not a good look at all. Again, her link is in my description because it is very interesting to watch. Very interesting. A full hour of that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Mel. Yeah, that was oof. So Mel, Tizzle, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Phoenix Rising, thank you. Tizzle, Phoenix Rising. Is that everybody? Uncle L, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all for stopping in. KMC, thank you. That was interesting to say the least. Elbow Speaks. Like I said, share.